We're live. Salam alaik. Good afternoon. How you doing, Munir?
Peace be upon everyone. Wa alaikum salam. I'm doing great, doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. Ready to dive in. Dissect what happened yesterday, present it to our drivers. We had 54 available, 35 of which were booked on 41 loads. 64% fleet utilization. We like to be above 70, so it's a tad bit under. Our bid-win ratio is 8.89. As most of our viewers know by now, we typically float around 10%. So this just reinforced that the reason that not as many drivers were booked was because we were just not winning as many bids. With 4th of July, the prices we can expect to be goofy because everyone is desperate. Everyone is in this weird panic mode. Everyone is trying to get home. They're trying to not get stuck. So everyone is willing to take 50 or 100 less. Is that what you're seeing
Uh,
on the?
yeah, that's what we saw yesterday. What we also saw yesterday is that our driver naturally, of course, restricted himself way more than usual this week, with a plan in mind to be home by Wednesday or Thursday morning, the latest, because Thursday is 4th of July. So a lot of them are sitting in good places such as Dallas, in waiting for a load to Houston only, or we're sitting in whatever St. Louis waiting for a load to Louisville, and so on. So that's something that can happen and will happen, and if it didn't happen, but of course that's one of the reasons that we
Yeah. The
we had
only
a
thing I'll
slight
say,
drop
man,
as
is
well.
we play a big role in weeks like this. We need to make sure we do a deep dive into people's dispatch settings to make sure that there's not sometimes one small dispatch setting can really throw off what type of loads we're able to pursue. And then we also need to make sure that we are bidding aggressively to get people booked, right? It's better to get someone booked for 50 or 100 less today than we would normally get if the alternative is not getting booked at all.
100%.
Okay, so hold on a second.
Where's the pie?
All right. So we had 420 loads expired. We had 505 we bid on and we did not win. We won 41. And then we had 250 that our dispatchers declined, 99 that our drivers declined manually, and 201 that our drivers automatically declined via their dispatch settings.
So as usual, pretty much when it
Yeah,
comes
it's
to
about
this.
average.
Yeah, about this, as you can see, we have 4 drivers that were in service yesterday morning that were not still booked. First on the list is a 614 in Massachusetts. They, as you can see, had a lot of available loads, but we missed a lot of these loads. The reason for that is, of course, even this driver, they restricted themselves down to southeast because they want to go home. We placed 24 bids, and that's a lot as well from this area. That's why, as Aldi said, we'll try to be as vigilant as we can, because if we're not using 24 bids to book someone, it's a big loss on our end. 453 in Fargo, delivered in Manitoba, moved down south, 10 bids. 492 in California. As you can see, we had a lot of loads, but the driver is desperately waiting to get a load back to east. And a lot of the loads were local, or were not up to his dispatch settings. And in the end, 151. This is Dallas, Texas. As you can see, a lot of missed opportunities as well. But I think Dallas, Boston, and even here, California, Los Angeles, we should be more vigilant today. It's the out of the regions where they are, those are the best places. So hopefully they'll get out of there. Fargo, it's just Fargo, so you never know. You can have
Mm-hmm.
one day where you have 5 loads out of there and you cover 5 drivers, and the other day you just don't book a one driver that you have there. So we'll see today.
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday we had a situation where the driver printed out the paperwork, got to the site, and it turned out that it is not the right paperwork for this load. Customer sent us another bill of lading and then driver went to print it. He could not find a place to print it, and at the end the load was canceled and driver got the TONU. Wow, that's what happened there. They couldn't just show it on the phone.
Yeah, yeah, they were strict about the paperwork. Our driver was really kind of put into a hustle by the customer, and we had to do it. But in the end, they figured out they don't even have a load. So it's sometimes these loads, and it's not our fault nor our driver's fault. Sometimes these loads are just not well set up. You go thinking you're gonna pick up something, but that something is was shipped a month ago, and then you need to go print the paperwork for something else, and you get there in completely something different. So that can happen
Hmm.
with some of the bigger customers that are majority of the businesses, everything is well set up, and there are rare cases where something like this happens. Whereas with others, it can happen something like this. We can only say thank you to the driver that was super patient in the end, and he was fairly compensated for his trouble.
We
This
got
is the driver.
Justin, such a great guy. Had to wait 5 hours to get loaded. Oh, this is the situation. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Justin. We salute you today.
yes, sir.
All right, breakdown of yesterday. Um, Ahmed with the 10.58 bid win ratio with 11 loads. Hottest with 15 loads with that lower bid win ratio, higher average driver pay. Um, thank you guys. What do we got here, Munir?
We got the standard load that we do almost every week, if not twice or even three times sometimes. Quebec going down to Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia is becoming a hub. Yesterday we mentioned it. 1,240 miles for $1,345. It's $1.08 a mile. Beautiful load.
Do you want to hear a fun fact about Butcherville, Quebec?
They speak French.
I don't know if they do. Usually French is up higher. Man, I went up there once when I was driving, like well past Montreal, and everyone refuses to speak English. Like younger people, like
Yeah, let me
people
tell
that
you.
I know for a fact speak English because everyone in the world speaks English, but
Yeah,
they want to sit there and pretend that they don't, and it was very,
that
very annoying.
that's not a Canadian thing. It's a real French thing.
Hmm.
They do that over in Europe. French people, when you go to Paris or anywhere in France, what you get is people that for certain they speak English, but they don't want to speak because of their pride and whatnot, because they were always like the arch enemies of English people back in the day. Now they're not, but back in the now they're arch enemies in football. But back in the day, they were arch enemies for real. So that's why they have a lot of that genetic pride for all France, and so that they don't want to speak.
So, Butcherville is one of the oldest municipalities in Quebec, founded in 1667 by Pierre Boucher. It's known for its rich history and beautiful parks, including the Lys de Boucherville National Park, which consists of several islands in the St. Lawrence River. Let's see what this Elise de Boucherville National Park is like. All right, here it is. This is the pride of Canada, man. That's
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, yesterday was a Canada Day. To all those Canadians out there, we salute you. We congratulate you the day of Canada. I don't know if that's your Independence Day
Nice.
or whatever it is. Truly respect your country. Truly respect your newfound tradition and everything else. Canada Day is a beautiful day. It was yesterday, and we love you all, Canadians. Go Canada!
Oh man, nice. That was a very nice salute you gave to our Canadian friends.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
what do you got here?
We got St. Catharines, Ontario, going on to Spring Hill, Tennessee. We have this load very often as well. It's again on the list, 839 miles, going down to Nashville for $900. Beautiful.
So, Spring Hill is known for being the site of historic Ripaville Plantation, a beautiful antebellum mansion that played a significant role during Civil War. It is also famous for its vibrant auto industry history. In 1990, GM opened the Saturn Corporation plant in Spring Hill. Um, when you talk about the U.S. and they talk about history and then they say 1990,
A
the
long
rich
time ago,
history
ancient history, before bread was first baked
sliced.
in the ovens of
All right, what do you
old.
got here?
We got Columbus, Mississippi going up to Winnipeg, Manitoba, 1,680 miles for $1,715. Driver usually relocates back to Fargo. Fuel paid dollar a mile plus fuel. Okay, not entirely, but close to dollar a mile plus fuel paid back to Fargo. Great load.
Great load
Everything around
indeed.
dollar a mile is a great load these days.
Winnipeg is known for its iconic interaction, Portage and Main, which has been called the windiest corner in Canada. The famous interaction is steeped in history and has been central point of the city since 1800s. Despite its reputation for being extremely windy, Portage and Main remains a key commercial and cultural hub in Winnipeg. Let's see what this is all about.
Winnipeg. Those
Winnipeg.
lakes up there, man. Half of the Manitoba is like some kind of weird lakes. And those, you know that those lakes are created by the flood that happened like 10,000 something years ago when glaciers, when we went from ice age to this new age, and the glaciers melted abruptly somehow, and they created those lakes up there in Manitoba, and I think the big lakes as well around the border of USA and Canada, Michigan Lake and Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, and others.
So here's my feedback on that. That's a theory, right?
Yeah, that's what the scientists say. I don't know.
That's a theory. That's my problem with scientific theories. They present them as facts. We don't know if that's what happened, man. We don't know if, but
I
I
think
understand.
for this they have some kind of evidence. I guess it's
Yeah.
it's, it's a physical thing. Lake is a physical thing.
Evidence.
You can kind of have evidence for it.
Although we already mentioned, it is important to remember that this is a holiday week. On Thursday and Friday, it will be hard to get loads, especially from not so busy areas. Please plan accordingly. Our dispatch team is here if you need any advice on your strategy for this week. On
Question
time
for you, Aldi.
performance. What's up?
Question question for you before you leave there. Have you ever, as a kid or something like that, been a part of that 4th of July fireworks celebration, something like that,
Um, yeah, like as an adult,
as an adult?
I have watched and I have partook.
I took. Nice, nice.
Yeah, I'm an American, man. I bleed
You
red,
are.
white, and blue.
Yes, you are.
Um, 98% on time performance yesterday with 59 stops. Good job, guys. Exactly where we want to be. Mr. Widal Sassoon says the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. What a guy, man. What a quote. How do you feel about that quote?
Well, in Bosnian language, success comes success success comes after um, work. So uspjeh posao. It's first you have uspjeh, then you have posao.
What about
OPQRS.
upornost? Would upornost be better for hard
Yeah,
work?
it will be the same. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course.
But I wanna jinx it. This guy is right.
Yes, sir. How many miles do truck drivers who retire late and drive for small to medium size companies drive per year? That's a weirdly worded question.
It is. I don't understand the first
What
thing.
what what
But
does the what does their when they retire have to do with how many miles they drive per year?
well, probably nothing.
What
I
do
would say like
drivers named John, how many miles do they drive per year? I'm gonna go with
remember,
125.
here's for you. I'm gonna go 125 as well. You are the driver. Now, you know that riddle when they tell you you're the driver, and then they tell you like the whole story and ask you how many how old is the driver, and then you're trying to figure out, okay,
Hmm.
125 miles
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
divided by 356 times this time that. You're the
Right,
driver.
right. Okay, 115. We were right. And that concludes this meeting. Thank you for those who joined. Thank you for your time, Mr. Munir.
Thank you.
Stay
Peace out.
safe, everyone.